Ambassador, what is really disconcerting to me is that Trump has said he isn't sure he would accept the results of the upcoming election, saying he would have to see. He's also implied somehow that mail-in voting could be fraudulent and take over the election. What do you think his protestations means for Americans?
Well, Sonny, this is really quite concerning and disturbing. We've never had a president of the United States who said that he would not accept the results of a legitimate democratic election. Our country rests on the peaceful transfer of power and the recognition that the voters get to decide. So it's clear that Donald Trump will stop at nothing to try to stay in power, however illegal, dishonest, or unbefitting the office. What it means is that Americans have to decisively reject his corruption and his abuse of power at the ballot box. It has to be a resounding defeat of Donald Trump and those in the Senate who have enabled him to discredit and undermine our democracy. Everything depends on this election and the voters delivering a very convincing verdict, because he is literally threatening what is at the core of our democracy, our national unity, and our strength and standing in the world. And meanwhile, as we've discussed with the coronavirus, he seems to be doing absolutely nothing effective to try to save American lives, reduce the spread of this virus, and enable our economy to recover in a sustainable way.
So Trump was confronted about whether he spoke with Vladimir Putin about the reports of Russia's involvement in a Taliban bounty program that incentivized the killing of United States troops. Not only did he say he didn't bring it up on the call, he also questioned whether the report was fake, and then said the intelligence never reached his desk. Do you believe that? What's your reaction to that?
No, I don't believe it. And this is horribly detrimental to our national security. We have a president of the United States who claims falsely that reports provided to him and others at the highest level of our government indicating that the Russian government was paying bounties to Taliban affiliates to kill American servicemen and women in Afghanistan. And his response is that it's fake news, or that it didn't reach his desk. Well, let me tell you what. What does it mean that it didn't reach his desk? Does that mean that he doesn't read his presidential daily briefing, the most important and exclusive product that the intelligence community creates? He claims he does read. So how is that the case? We know it was in the PDB. Are we supposed to believe that my successors as national security advisor didn't have the guts to tell him something of that importance? And even if all of that is true, which I don't believe, that he didn't read it, that it wasn't briefed to him, it's been almost 2 months since that information has been in the public domain, and he has done nothing. He doesn't raise it with Vladimir Putin. He does nothing to express concern for the health and well-being of our American servicemen and women in uniform in a war zone. He is absolutely a failure as our commander-in-chief. And all the while, he's protecting Putin, justifying Russian behavior. In the same interview, he says, well, China does much worse. And then he says, and America has done the same thing as the Russians during the Afghan war. I mean, this is outrageous. Where is our president, our commander-in-chief, standing up for our servicemen and women? He could care less. And he's got some very bizarre, very inexplicable reason for always giving Putin the benefit of the doubt and taking steps that benefit Russia at America's expense.
Ambassador, I have to ask you, as the former national security advisor, what do you consider to be this country's biggest threat? What keeps you up at night?
Well, Sarah, several things keep me up at night. But right now, as I wrote in my book, Tough Love, when I was looking out on the horizon, we've got the crisis that I feared the most, which is a global pandemic that has ruined our economy and killed over 150,000 almost soon to be American lives, with more counting. Yes, I worry about Russia Yes, I worry about China. Yes, I worry about climate change and many other national security concerns. But right now, the thing that is harming Americans more than anything else, the thing that is killing us more than our most recent wars combined, is this coronavirus. And the president declared it a war against the virus. And as Joe Biden has so effectively said, he's thrown up the white flag of surrender and walked off the battlefield while Americans continue to die.
It's so true. You know, the last time you were with us, it was to talk about your book, Tough Love, and now that book is coming out in paperback, and you cover all topics from your family to motherhood to politics. It's an interesting question that Sarah just asked. What are the things that you think are keeping Americans up at night? And if you are in the position of becoming the vice president, what do you think the first couple of things you're going to try to tackle are?
Well, we'll be leaving aside whatever role I may play or not play. I think the most important things that will face what we hope will be a new Biden administration in January are confronting this virus effectively, getting it under control, protecting the health and well-being of Americans so that they can go back to work, go back to school, and that our economy can get back on track. So confronting the virus, jump-starting and reinvigorating our economy, digging out of the huge leadership ditch that we have been driven into by Donald Trump internationally. We have got to restore our security, our global standing, repair relationships with our allies, be clear-eyed about who our adversaries are. And we've got to deal, Whoopi, with the very pressing issues in this country of economic and racial justice, which are, been laid bare by the coronavirus and the murder of George Floyd. We have real inequalities in this country that are not befitting a country of our wealth and our standing. And these inequalities, our internal divisions, are things we've got to deal with. And Joe Biden gets that. He laid that out very aptly in a series of speeches, the most recent one yesterday. He's got concrete plans to get us back on track, confront the pandemic, confront our economic challenges, restore our leadership role in the world, and deal once and for all with racial and economic justice issues.
Ambassador, before we go, President Trump recently said he backed out of throwing the first pitch at a Yankees game because of his schedule, but it is reported that he was never actually invited to do it. Do you think that this was just too much for him to handle, Dr. Fauci getting more attention? You had some fun with this on Twitter.
I did have some fun with it on Twitter. I don't know what's in Donald Trump's head. He tells so many lies every day that it's very hard for Americans to keep up with it. My fun was to question whether he had the capacity to get the ball up and over the plate. And I tweeted a photograph of me throwing a strike in 2013 when I had the opportunity to throw out the opening pitch at National Stadium. It was just having a little bit of fun. But Trump, he walks into these blind spots. This one of his own creation. I just wish he'd stop walking into blind spots for the American people. That's much more serious.
It's good to see you, and we thank you, Ambassador Susan Rice. Her book, Tough Love, is out right now and available in paperback on August 4th.